Blue hour over Finland's lakes. Mist drifts, pines breathe, and the water barely moves. This is the beginning. Follow the ripples north, from quiet shores to castles, wild trails, and Aurora. Finland opens slowly. Stay with it. The Finland Mistake. Most travelers land in Helsinki, spend 2 days, maybe take the ferry to Suomenlinna, and leave thinking they've seen Finland. They've seen one city. The country has 180,000 lakes, 20,000 islands, and stretches of Arctic wilderness that feel like the edge of the world. This is the Finland beyond Helsinki. 7 places, south to north, that most tourists never find. Every single one is reachable by train or ferry. Let's go. 50 minutes east of Helsinki by bus, about €12, and you're in a town that hasn't changed much since the 1300s. Red ochre wooden warehouses line the Porvoo River, the kind of buildings that look painted onto postcards. The cobblestone streets of old Porvoo climb uphill past cafes older than the country itself. Finland became independent in 1917. Cafe Helmi has been serving cinnamon rolls since before that. The Porvoo Cathedral sits on the hilltop, white stone, visible from every approach. In summer, the riverbank restaurants serve fresh fish caught that morning. In winter, the whole town freezes over and the red warehouses reflect in black ice. Day trip from Helsinki, but stay overnight if you can. The town empties after 5 p.m. when the day trippers leave, and it's yours. Turku was Finland's capital until 1812. The Turku Castle on the Aurora River dates to the 1280s, one of the oldest buildings in the Nordic countries. The riverfront is lined with converted steamships that now serve as floating bars and restaurants. But the real reason you come here is what starts at the river mouth, the Archipelago Sea. 20,000 islands connected by a network of free ferries. Yes, free. You drive or bike onto a ferry, it takes you to the next island, you explore, you catch the next one. The Archipelago Trail is a 250-kilometer loop you can do by car or bicycle over 2 to 3 days. In summer, the sun barely sets. You'll be sitting on a granite rock at 11 p.m. with daylight still on the water, and you'll be the only person on that island. Accommodation ranges from €40 guest houses to campsites on uninhabited islands where you bring your own everything. This isn't Greece. This is cold Baltic water and silence. Central Finland is one of the densest lake districts on the planet. Lake Saimaa alone covers 4,400 square kilometers, bigger than Luxembourg, bigger than 5 countries. It has 14,000 islands of its own, and a shoreline longer than the coast of California. The classic Finnish experience here: rent a lakeside cabin, moki, for about 60 to €80 a night. It comes with a wood-fired sauna, a rowboat, and a dock. You heat the sauna until the stones are glowing. You sit in the heat until you can't anymore, and then you jump into the lake. Even in summer, the water is 15 degrees Celsius. That shock is the point. This is how Finns have lived for centuries, and you can do it too. The town of Savonlinna sits on a series of islands in the middle of Saimaa, anchored by a 15th-century castle that hosts an opera festival every July. Even if you don't care about opera, the castle at sunset over the lake is worth the train ride. Now we're crossing into Lapland, the Arctic Finland most people imagine but few actually reach. Oulanka National Park sits just below the Arctic Circle, and its centerpiece is the Karhunkeros Trail, the Bear's Ring, an 82-kilometer route through old-growth pine forest along a river canyon. Suspension bridges cross the rapids. The water is the color of weak tea from the peat upstream. In summer, this is a multi-day hike with free wilderness huts along the route. Basic shelters where you can sleep, no reservation needed. In autumn, the whole park turns gold and red. And in winter, the same trail becomes snowshoe country under the northern lights. The river frozen beneath 6 feet of ice. The only sound your own breathing and the creak of snow underfoot. Getting here takes some work. Train from Helsinki to Oulu, then bus to Kuusamo, then local transport to the trailhead. Total travel time, about 9 hours, worth every minute. Rovaniemi is the official hometown of Santa Claus, but the real reason you go is for the northern lights. The city sits directly under the Aurora Oval, making it one of the most reliable places on Earth to see them. From here, you can also take an Arctic icebreaker cruise onto the frozen Gulf of Bothnia and float in the sea in a survival suit. That's about €250, worth every cent. 250 kilometers above the Arctic Circle, Saariselkä is famous for its glass igloos. Kokslautinen built the first thermal glass domes where you can watch the northern lights from bed. A night runs about €400 to €600. Beyond the igloos, it's the gateway to Urho Kekkonen National Park, endless wilderness to the horizon in every direction. We saved the best for last, Koli National Park. The view from Ukko-Koli Hill has been voted Finland's most beautiful landscape, rolling forested hills dropping into Lake Pielainen. This is the view that inspired composer John Sibelius. The park is open year-round for hiking, seeing the autumn ruska, or snowshoeing in winter. It's about 5 hours by train from Helsinki, then a bus. Stay at the Summit Hotel for about €120 a night. Finland isn't just Helsinki and Santa Claus. It's 180,000 lakes, 20,000 islands, Arctic wilderness that stretches to the edge of the world, and landscapes that have inspired symphonies. Every single destination in this video is reachable by public transport. Every single one is affordable if you book ahead, and almost none of them are on the typical tourist itinerary. Full guides for every single one are on the channel. And I've linked the Norway and Sweden deep dives below if you're building a Nordic route. Which one are you adding to your list?